What's going on, guys? PC here, and welcome to another episode of Pickups. This is a bit unusual for me to be doing a Pickups video so soon after my last one, but I've just picked up so many games this month that I just had to do it. If I waited any longer, I'd have probably an hour-long Pickups video next month. So, picked up a ton of stuff, so I'm just going to get right into it, so here we go. So the first thing I picked up is actually a console, and not one I was actually looking for. The story behind this is I was just looking on eBay. I happened to notice this brand new listing for a buy it now for a console for $9.99 and free shipping. It pretty much doesn't matter what console it is. For $9.99 and free shipping, how can you really pass it up? And this console came with a controller, came with the cords, so it really was a fantastic deal, and unsurprisingly, it actually turned out that it was a mistake in the listing. The seller didn't mean to actually list it for that price, but he was awesome enough to send it to me anyway, which was really cool. And that console is the Sega Genesis Model 1. I actually own a Model 2, but I don't own a Model 1, so very cool to have this, and for the price, I just couldn't pass it up. And it works, and it came with, like I said, the controller and the cords. And very, very cool to have this. It's actually a pretty nice looking console, and it's actually smaller than I thought it would be. I did actually play a Model 1 a while back, but it's been a long time, so I don't really remember the size and the look of it that much. But it's actually smaller than I thought it was. It's actually not that much bigger than the Model 2, which is surprising. But very cool to have this, and for $9.99, can't even speak today. Very, very cool to have for that price. And the controller is kind of unusual. I don't know if this is something specific to the Model 1 Genesis, but the controller cord is very, very short. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments down below, but I think that's something I heard about the Model 1 that has a very short cord on the controller, but I could be wrong. But to top that all off, the same seller on eBay actually let me pick out a bunch of games from his store, and he let me have free shipping on all of them. So I couldn't pass up that deal. He probably offered me that because he didn't want to lose money on the deal. Because if he just sent me the console, he probably would have lost money on the shipping. But very, very cool. Worked out on both ends. He didn't lose money. I got a great deal on a bunch of games to go with it. So ironically, I actually didn't have any Genesis games, or he had some Genesis games, but none I was really interested in. So I picked up some N64 games and some games for a system I don't own, so mainly because it was a great price. But I'll start off with the N64 games. The first two games are Tom and Jerry Fists of Fury, which I guess is kind of like Power Stone with Tom and Jerry. I haven't actually played it, but I've seen videos of it, and it looks pretty interesting, kind of like a 3D beat 'em up. So kind of cool. $5.99 for that, so not too bad. Next up we have Rugrats in Paris, the movie, which I thought it might be kind of interesting. I think I do remember watching this show at some point, but might be kind of interesting. I'll probably be doing a first look video on this soon, so look out for that. Got this for $2.99, so I figured I'd take it for that price. Next up we have a bunch of Atari 2600 games that I got from the same seller, all with free shipping again, and I don't actually own an Atari 2600, so it's kind of weird for me to be buying games for it, but they were so cheap I just couldn't pass them up, so I might use them for trades or something like that. But I'll go through them quickly here because I really don't know anything about them, and they all came with manuals, which is, I think, kind of unusual for the Atari 2600, but I could be wrong. But cool to have the manuals for all of them. So the games are Kaboom, which I got for $2.16. Keystone Capers, which I got for $1.76. Star Raiders, which I got for a penny. Yeah, you can't pass up a game for a penny, really. And I actually got a few games for that price, so wow, great deal on that. Grand Prix, which I also got for a penny. Warlords for a penny. Phoenix, which I got for 99 cents. And last we have Skiing, which I got for a penny. So great deal on those. I couldn't pass them up for the price, even though I don't actually own a 2600, so yeah. Next up I have a bunch of games that I got on eBay for $12 for the whole lot, and there are some Genesis games, some Dreamcast games, and even a Saturn game in the lot, so it's a pretty good deal. A lot of sports games, but some good titles as well. I'll start off with the Dreamcast games. The first one is World Series Baseball 2K1, which is complete. NFL 2K1, complete. NCAA 2K2 College Football, complete. And a couple non-sports games, which are actually pretty good games. The first one I actually don't have, which is cool to have. It is Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. I have the first game, but I don't have the second one. Pretty fun boxing game, cartoony graphics to it. Very, very cool. Fun game. Of course, I don't really know much about the second one, but the first one's fun anyway. I'm looking forward to playing this one. Next up we have Sega Smash Pack Volume 1, which is a bunch of Genesis games, including Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Wrestle War, Phantasy Star 2, Vector Man, and a few other games, as well as Virtua Cop 2, which is a Saturn game, which they ported over to the Dreamcast in this collection. So I do have this, so I'll probably be trading this game. So next up we have some disc-only games, including NHL 2K, NFL 2K1, NBA 2K, and Choo Choo Rocket, which is a great puzzle game for the Dreamcast. Disc-only. Some guy wrote his name on it, which I can probably get off, but I already have that game. But again, another game I can use for a trade. Next up we have the only Saturn game I got in the lot, and that is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, I think? Yes, 3. I'm not a big Mortal Kombat fan, but still cool to have. And last in the lot we have some Genesis games, mostly sports games, but there is one game that actually looks pretty cool, so I'm looking forward to actually trying that, but I'll save that for last. The first one we have here is NBA Showdown 94, Madden 95, Madden 96, and NBA Live 97. And the last game in the lot actually looks pretty interesting. And just looking on the label, it looks like a really, really cool game. And it's called Dinosaurs for Hire. And it has a picture of a dinosaur, a very muscular looking dinosaur, that is apparently standing on two legs and using arms like a human, but whatever. But he's actually shooting a minigun. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that is some really cool cover art, and I'm looking forward to trying this. This sounds like, or I don't know if I'd say sounds like, but looks like a really cool game. I've never heard of it. If you've heard of it, let me know how it is in the comments below. But that's all I got for $12 for all 15 games, so pretty good deal there. Next up I have a few sports games that I got from a video game trading site that I go to called VGFive, and I got them for 100 points each, which is about $1 a piece, so I figured I'd pick them up for that. And I'll just go through them quickly here. Some of them I've already shown you actually, they're just duplicates, but NFL 2K1, World Series Baseball 2K1, and NHL 2K. Next up we have a game that I've been wanting to get for a long time now, and I actually had bought this before, but unfortunately the disc didn't work and I had to return it, but I'm really glad to have it now, and that is Egg Elemental Gimmick Gear for the Dreamcast. This is an RPG with some really stunning looking graphics. Everything in the game is hand-drawn and really colorful and looks amazing. I've seen gameplay of this on YouTube, it just looks stunning. And I'm really looking forward to trying this game. One of the main reasons I wanted this game is because it's very similar, or at least I've heard it's very similar to A Link to the Past, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And it shares some mechanics with it. I believe one of the mechanics in this game is the hook shot, which is used a lot in A Link to the Past to get across ravines and whatnot. And to combine A Link to the Past with an RPG, I think it will be amazing, so I'm really looking forward to trying this out. And that is Egg Elemental Gimmick Gear for the Dreamcast, which I got for $14.83 on Amazon, which isn't too bad because it's about a $20 game. So definitely glad to have this. So next we have the last Dreamcast game that I picked up, and that is Sonic Adventure. And it's kind of unusual that I didn't already have this, but I had Sonic Adventure 2, I don't have the original, and it's kind of weird for a Dreamcast collector not to have Sonic Adventure in their collection. So I finally got this. I got this in a trade with a fellow YouTuber named DinkyDana. You can check out his YouTube channel down below. Great videos, definitely check him out. But very, very cool to have this. I'm sure all of you know what Sonic Adventure is, so I'm not going to go through explaining that, but very, very cool to have this in the collection. Next up, I have a bunch of Game Gear games, 5 different games that I got from the same seller in a lot for $17. Some really good games in here, so pretty good deal on it. I got it mainly for one game, and I'll get to that a bit later, but I'll go through all the other games first. The first one is Shinobi 2, which is your standard Shinobi game on the Game Gear. I haven't actually played it yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it. Next up we have Sonic Drift 2, which is a Sonic kart racer. I guess you could say it's the prequel to the modern Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, or Sonic All-Stars Racing, whatever they're calling it now. But yeah, it's supposedly not that great, but I'm looking forward to trying it anyway. Next up we have what I believe is a exclusive to the Game Gear, and that is Sonic Triple Trouble, which I think is your pretty much traditional Sonic game on the Game Gear. I haven't actually tried it yet, so I'm not positive about that, but I'm pretty sure it is a pretty standard Sonic game. But yeah, cool to have. Next up we have Streets of Rage, which is Streets of Rage. I have Streets of Rage 2. I have never played the original, so looking forward to trying that out. And the last game I got in the lot is actually one I got to send to a fellow YouTuber named 16-Bit Brit. He had actually done a video a while back on getting his first Game Gear, and he was looking for some game recommendations, and this is actually one I recommended to him, and he hadn't picked it up yet, so I figured I'd send it to him, and that is Defenders of Oasis. This is a fantastic RPG on the Game Gear, my favorite game on the Game Gear by far, and it's just a great RPG. It's kind of got a Saudi Arabia, Arabian Nights type theme to it, which is kind of unusual for an RPG, and it's just a lot of fun. A really fantastic RPG. If you have never played it, definitely go and check it out. But 16-Bit Brit, if you're watching this, is your game. I'll probably be sending this to you soon. Alright, so the last 2 games I have are both from the DreamcastGaga store, which I've mentioned a couple times before, but it's basically just a store that's run by a guy over in Japan. It's an online store, obviously, and he sells a bunch of Japanese Dreamcast games and also Saturn games, but I think he's actually removed the Saturn games from the store listings. But I actually requested these from him, and he was able to get them for me, which is very cool. The first game I've been wanting for a long time now, and it's the prequel to one of my favorite games on the Dreamcast, Dynamite Cop. This is Dynamite Deca. This is a beat-em-up game, very, very similar to Dynamite Cop on the Dreamcast. Of course, since it is the prequel, I haven't actually played it yet, but I'm really looking forward to trying this because Dynamite Cop is a fantastic game. So a big thanks to DreamcastGaga for getting a hold of this game for me. And I got that for $18, which is probably about the average price for the game, but I really, really wanted the game. Plus, he threw in a bonus free game, which was awesome of him to do, and that is Christmas Nights, which is basically Nights into Dreams, except with a Christmas theme, and I think it's more of a demo. I think there are only a few levels in it, but it has a really cool Christmas theme to it, and I believe if you put this in, if you have your date set correctly on your Saturn as New Year's, or I forget if it's New Year's or New Year's Eve, one of the two, if you have your date set on your Saturn correctly, you can actually get a New Year's theme with fireworks and all that stuff, which is very, very cool. So I'm very happy to own this. Very, very cool. And a big thanks to the DreamcastGaga store for sending these games to me. Very, very cool. Definitely check out the store if you haven't already. I'll put a link in the description below. Those are all the pickups I have for this month, which is a lot for me. I normally don't pick up that much in just a month, but some really great deals. But anyway guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please comment, rate, subscribe, and thanks for watching.